Okay, Tanisha has joined the chat. At the end of the day, what I'm trying to figure out is why Tanisha isn't in as much trouble with Heather as Monica is. And I think I'm understanding it now. All right, so it started off like this. Monica was the leader, Ko was her minion, all these sorts of things. My follow-up questions were like, okay, cool. I don't really think anyone is worse than the other. I just don't get why Heather isn't more mad or as mad at you as she is at Monica. So she says she wasn't doing Heather's hair, nor did I know Heather during any of the time this was happening. So I'm like, okay, wait, then how are you connected? So I was like, okay, so at this point you were just doing Jen's hair. Yes, I only worked on Jen and then I quit. And by the time I quit, I had become friends with Koa and Monica and the other people. I'm just trying to piece it all together. Tanisha was doing Jen's hair, then she quits. But by that point, she's friends with Koa and Monica and Savannah and whoever, because all of them were working with Jen and probably commiserating about how terrible she was. Got it? Okay. So I ask, weren't you also withholding the Reality Von Tease info from her when you were doing her hair, meaning Heather? I get why Monica is the bad guy, believe me. No doubt Monica did some shit, but I'm confused as to how she's so much worse than you in the eyes of Heather. Here she says, by the time she started working with Heather, she wasn't involved in what they were doing with the account Reality Von Tease. The receipts that Koa posted were taken out of context and put in an order that made sense for his story. I'll get to the receipts that she posted as well. But for me, let's put it together here. So it's a tricky situation for Tanisha to be in. She was involved in a group that it's kind of hard to like stop being involved in a group like that, right? So she starts working for Heather and is like, okay, I got to get my career on path. I cannot be doing this stuff anymore and be involved with it. So she starts to distance herself. The last thing she's going to talk about with Heather, her new client, is, hey, I was involved in Reality Von Tease. So that must have been a tense experience for her, knowing what she knows, that she's like, I was doing that, but then she's not anymore and doing her hair. Like, that's a lot. All right, here's a receipt that Tanisha posted. It's a text from Savannah, something about it was going to come out with Monica being on the show and all, but I'm like, why did it have to come out like that? So fucking dramatic. When she says, what are you talking about? I was friends with Monica for the whole first half of filming. And then Savannah says, like, yeah, Monica jerk reacted saying it was you, which was a lie, but she was caught off guard while ganged up on by all those housewives on a TV show. Like I said, I see both sides to this, but I honestly walked away from all this a long time ago for the same reasons as Paulina. I don't want to get involved. Tanisha says, yeah, I walked away around the same time you did. That's the issue, Savannah. It doesn't matter if it was a knee-jerk reaction. She lied and is continuing to lie, and your friend is backing her publicly. And then she said, Savannah, I didn't choose to tell Heather on a fucking TV show. Girl, either you make a statement or you don't, and you said you don't want to, so that is that. Okay, I mean, this does prove that Monica and Koa were much more invested in it for a longer period of time. And that Tanisha was she was friends with Monica, but like wasn't trying to be involved in the Reality Von Tease stuff. Okay. Another receipt that she shares is this voice note from Monica. And I'm thinking what this shows is that Tanisha really was not involved and was cool with Heather. And even this crew of people knew that.
Okay, but I thought the same thing. I'm like, should we post this? Like, I kind of want to see, maybe we see how many other people have posted it. Even if we did it in like a nice way, like we could totally post it like kindly towards Heather, however, but just like, what the fuck is this shit? Just cause, like I said, just because of Tanisha, and I don't want, you know what I mean? It's a little, I don't want to piss her off or offend her, hurt her, because she still fucks with Heather, but like I'm actually like, after I saw that, I was like, I want to unfollow her. Like, I want to unfollow Beauty Lab. Like, fuck you. I can't even believe you just said wrongfully convict. I literally can't even rap.
It cuts off right there. So I don't know if the rest of it's just irrelevant or if she did that on purpose, but it cuts off at that point. So you're not wrong to be like, what happened? But I guess that does prove that they knew Tanisha was on good terms with Heather. So therefore, Tanisha was like out of it at this point. So then I ask if these texts were doctored by Koa, because it looks to me like this was damning. This was the part to me that I was like, okay, so Heather totally was playing a double agent, pretending to be Jen's friend, and then willing to throw her under the bus and try to get her video leaked. So I asked, was all this doctored? She says, I have no idea, because at that time, I didn't know Heather and I didn't have contact with Heather to have a comparison. So she's claiming that when those texts happened, this was before she started doing her hair. So those texts would have happened at the beginning of like season 2, if you will, or end of season 1 or something like that. And so she's saying she didn't start doing Heather's hair at that point. She was not close with Heather. That's why she can't say if those are doctored texts or not. So it looks to me like, if we're going off of this new evidence, because I don't want to discredit everything Tanisha's saying. I don't think that's fair. My goal in this is not to create the narrative I want to have created. My goal is genuinely to figure out, because this was the part that I couldn't connect, why Tanisha wasn't in more trouble with Heather. Because in my head, I'm like, you were doing her hair, not telling her about reality on Tease, and deceiving her kind of the same way Monica was, if you think about it. But because Tanisha stopped being involved with the account when she started to do Heather's hair, they have a working relationship. And then while Heather is in Bermuda, she contacts Tanisha and is like, tell me the truth. And Tanisha confesses. And that's how we got where we're at, right? It's a very dangerous game Tanisha was playing, though. Like, once you join a crew, like the crew that was doing Reality Von Tease, it's kind of hard to be like, okay, I'm out of it now, but I'm going to work for one of the people that's super close to all this stuff. Like, it was a very tricky game to be playing. I would like to know if those texts with Heather are doctored, because to me, that's like, oh, so you were willing to go against Jen. Okay. That's a little bit of a big deal. But I just wanted to give this update because I don't really think it matters who did what exactly. I just was trying to kind of get to some truth. What do you guys think?